Here's my honest plan of how I'm planning to buy myself a beautiful, sexy McLaren 765 LT Spider in the next 5 years. Now, granted, I don't currently have $500,000 in the bank to spend on a car. And so that begs the question, how the fuck am I going to have this in the next 5 years? And I want to share my honest plan with you so you can do the same. So here's the deal. One of these cars is going to cost you, let's just say you're like Tate, you want to spec out everything, it's going to cost you upwards of $500,000. So then that begs the question, how the fuck how am I going to make $500,000 to spare in the next 5 years to buy a McLaren? Well, here's the deal. Here's something I've realized. If you look at Tate and all his cars, all of these ones, and a lot more, you notice that Tate doesn't himself just own all of these cars. He owns them with primarily his brother, but I'm sure he also owns these cars amongst other people, right? Perhaps Luke, maybe some other guys as well. And so it got me thinking, the reason why Tate has all these cars, I'm sure he's able to have a lot of them by himself, but the reason why he has so many of these is because him and his brothers and him and his network, the guys in the war room, etc., share these cars. And so it got me thinking, if I want to buy my dream cars, and if I want to do it fast, why don't I facilitate and put myself in an environment where I'm surrounded with other guys so we can pool our money together to buy these cars? And so here's my actual plan, okay? Here's my plan. I'm going to post YouTube videos, like the ones you're watching now, sharing things that I have done, okay? Sharing things that I've done, lessons, etc. My goal with these YouTube videos is that it inspires other people to make money online, just like I did, right? Inspires them to make money online, okay? My goal with this then is once I've posted a YouTube video about things I've done and I've inspired them to make money online, my goal is to funnel these people into a community, okay, where we can start to network together and get to know each other more and help each other. Alrighty? And my goal with this is that I can start to connect with more people, help them make more money, escape the matrix, and build our network. And then here's the real goal. The real goal is to build a War Room 2.0, like a War Room 2.0 type of thing, where it's capped at 100 members, let's say. Okay, 100 members. Alrighty? Where we only accept the top people. Okay? And then we work together. Okay, bear my writing here, but we work together to create like a real brotherhood, like what Tate has, and we help each other make more money. And then what we do, okay, so once we've done this, YouTube, about the stuff I've done, inspire people to make more money, funnel them into a community, build my network, create the War Room 2.0, only accept the highest quality people so we can build our businesses together, create a real brotherhood, make a bunch of money. Then what we're going to do is over the next 5 years, because once again, this is a 5-year plan, over the next 5 years, here's what we're going to do. Is once we've got, right, 100 members, boom, 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 pretend these are all 100 members in here. Here's the deal. You by yourself, over the next 5 years, and me by myself, I could probably maybe buy 1, maybe 2 Lambos, right? Comfortably. But here's the deal. I don't really want a Lambo, nor do I really want to settle for 1 or 2. I want every car at my disposal. I want to have access to McLarens, Bugattis, Aston Martins, Conan's eggs, whatever the fuck, you name it, Porsches. I want to have access to all of them. So here's the deal. By myself, I could probably do okay and get a couple nice cars. But I don't just want a couple nice cars. I want every nice car. So here's what we're going to do. Inside of this war room over the next 5 years, we're all going to make a bunch of money online together. And what we're going to do is we're going to pool our money together like this. And not only are we going to invest in other companies and businesses, but once we pool our money together, we can buy a lot more cars. Right? Instead of just buying one car, we can buy a McLaren, we could buy some Lambos, we could buy some Porsches, some Aston Martins, etc. And then here's what we'll do, is we all collectively own these cars together. Okay, so not one person just owns them, we all collectively own them together. And so what we can do is we can drive any car of the 30 plus, car fleet we're going to own at any time, anywhere. And then here's the coolest part, is since we have so many entrepreneurs in here, so many business-minded people, when we're not using the cars, we can turn this, okay, so we can turn all of this into a car rental company. Okay? And so when we're not using the cars, we can just rent these cars out to other people to make more money on the side. So instead of just owning a car and doing nothing with other than, driving it sometimes and having some content, we can turn this into an actual business and then rent these cars out to other people. And the coolest part about this is all these people will be all around the world. And so that means that no matter where you travel, right, let's say you travel, whatever, to, South America. Okay, there's going to be somebody in South America that's going to own a couple cars. And so when you fly down there from, let's just say you're in Europe, and you fly down to South America, you can now call this guy and be like, yo, I want to drive I want to drive some Lambos. And he'll hook you up. It doesn't cost you anything because you own all these cars together. And so this is my plan. Because if you've ever done the math on how the fuck does, like, one of these cars cost $500,000. And this is something like, at first it's like, everyone goes up being like, oh, I want a Lambo, I want a Bugatti, I want this, I want that. But until you look at the actual cost of these cars, you never realize truly how much effort it takes to get one of these cars. And this is what I notice is the power of coming together, of being brotherhood. This is why there's so many. As a matter of fact, there's even a story Tate told about these guys all these guys live together in one house. Okay, all these guys live together in one house. And they all just live in this one house. And they have a bunch of really nice cars. Okay, a bunch of really nice cars, etc. But that's because they pool all their money together and buy these cars together while living in one house. Because we all know that 2 is better than 1. And when you have 5 guys, right, or even 100 guys, your purchasing power goes up so much, you are able to get so much more of what you want when you come together and build a brotherhood. Okay? And this is why Tate preaches how important it is to actually have a brotherhood, to have masculine friends around you who will support you and drive you and make you the best version of yourself. This is why Tate still lives with his brothers and with some of the guys in the war room and not with a bunch of girls, even though he's access to all of them. Okay? And so here's the thing I realized is, let's say you work a normal job. Let's just say you work a normal job and you make pretty good money. You make $10K a month, okay? Which is $120K per year. Alrighty, so this is what some people will never make and some people will make. So $120K a year. Now, after taxes, let's just say you're left with roughly, we'll just say $90K. Okay, give or take. I don't know where you are, but taxes are pretty shit. This is actually probably pretty forgiving in most places. Let's say you're left with $90K. Well, now you got to pay rent and food. So let's see. Food is probably, depending on how healthy you eat, and depending on how many people pay, for $1 to $2K per month. Okay, and this also depends on where you live. Rent, we can just say this is like, let's say you don't live in a nice place, you just pay $2K per month, right? Pretty shit place, you have whatever, it's a nice, decent place. And then let's say you own a shitty little car, that costs you maybe an extra, $400 a month in insurance and in gas. And then, let's say your phone bill and some other providers, maybe an extra, $200K per month. And then we'll throw in another, maybe $1,000 for miscellaneous. You live pretty low key, right? This is a pretty low key. So let's add this up. So we'll just say 2K. Okay, so 2 plus 2, that's 4, plus 400, 4.4, plus 200, 4.6, plus 1,000 is 5.6. Okay, so that's 5.6K per month that you are spending. Okay, so if we do the math, now granted I dropped out of university, so evidently I'm not very good at math, but 5.6 times 12 is probably somewhere up in the high 60s, low 70s. Let's find out. Ready? 5.6 times 12. Look at that, high 60s, 67.2. So this means that on a yearly basis, this would be $67,000.2. Okay, $67,200. Okay, so if we look at the amount we had beginning, 90, we go 90, take away 67.2, just round it up to make our life fucking simple. This is, I believe it's actually 22.8. I think that's right, 22.8K. If I'm not mistaken. Maybe my math is horrible and I'm just a fucking retard. Okay? But I believe that's 22.8K that you actually get to keep. After taxes, after all expenses. Right? Now, granted, some people buy a lot of stupid shit. Some people pay for more expensive houses and cars they don't need, and a lot of other bills and stupid shit and travel. And so this number will actually be a lot less. Right? So let's just say, for whatever reason, you're pretty good with your money and you can keep 20K per year. Right? In the bank. And let's forget about investing. This is just how much you keep. So, this means if you wanted to buy a McLaren, it would take you, let's do the math. Ready? 490,000 divided by 20. Or I guess I should probably put 20,000. So this would take you 24. So this would take you 24.5 years in order for you to be able to afford a McLaren. And that would be assuming that you never spend more than what you never spend more than what you make. You're very conservative. You're very reserved in your lifestyle. And when you get to this 24.5 year mark, assuming that, inflation hasn't fucked you in the ass, you then spend all of your money, you drain your account to literal zero, and then buy a McLaren. which you then would barely even be able to even afford if you bought it outright. This is obviously if you finance a different story, but if you bought it outright, able to afford the gas and maintenance that goes on with this. So look at how impossible, even if you have made good money, like 120K, relatively speaking to most people, is actually pretty good money. So even if you make good money, it would be almost impossible to actually ever buy a McLaren. And let's say you finally get a job, 120K, when you're 25. That would mean, okay, so if you were 25 years old, and then that is when you got this job and you started saving. 5, that's 30. That would mean by the time you're 50, you would maybe be able to do this. But then you won't be able to retire. You probably won't be able to even afford it if it blew up or anything. Or you never, for the last 25 years, you won't be able to do anything except for just work. Think about that. Like, truly let that sit in. This is a good amount of money for most people around the world, right? Like, if you get a job and they pay you 10K a month, that's a good amount of money. So even like in a business, a lot of us want to make 10K a month, right? Look at this. Even if you make 10K a month, you still will never be able to afford a fucking McLaren. And this is what I realized. Right now, granted, my goal is not just to make 10K a month, but we digress. But I realized it's like, holy shit. The reason why so many of these guys have so many cars is because they don't do it themselves. They pool their money together, right? Even if you think about the highest of the highest people, even if you go look at BlackRock, what does BlackRock do? Well, they don't just use their own money. They use everybody else's money, right? Because the more people's money they have access to, the faster they can grow. It's the same with every company in the world, right? Apple, Microsoft, like Nike. They all are publicly traded companies, which means that people give them money so that they can go and invest and make the company grow, right? But if you notice that all the most successful people in this world, the most successful companies, the most successful people, didn't do this alone. BlackRock didn't do this alone. Apple didn't do this alone. Tate didn't do this alone. Look at anybody out there. They didn't do it alone. They had people around them helping them. Because look how fucking minuscule, how little power you have by yourself, even making good money. So this is why I'm doing this. This. Okay? Is so that one day I can own every single car I want with people around me that I call my brothers, who also help me make more money, invest in companies together, and level me up to become the best possible version of myself. So this is my absolute honest plan of how I am planning to make enough money to buy myself a McLaren, and for that matter of fact, a lot more cars over the next 5 years. And so now you know. And so the last thing for me to say is if you want to be part of this and you also want to own a McLaren or maybe a Bugatti or maybe a Porsche 911, okay, maybe an Aston Martin or maybe a Lambo or Ferrari, whatever the fuck your heart so desires, and you realize how hard it is to do this on your fucking own, let alone, let's not even talk about cars, let's talk about houses, or even businesses, or even just becoming the best version of yourself, and you understand how hard it is to do alone, and you have swallowed your ego and your pride and understood that surrounding yourself with people is the best thing you could ever do. It's why Tate literally does and preaches it. Then do me a favor. Join me. Join me in this movement. Join me in this fucking journey, and join my community. Inside there, I have everything that I have ever, and I mean ever. I'll even show it to you. Pull this up. Look at this. Inside here, I have every single, if you go to the start here, okay, you can go get access to free weekly calls with me, our cult values. You can chat with the boys and me. You can ask me questions. You get access to every SOP I've ever made that I've used to make money online. Like, this is very extensive. There's so much stuff in there. You can join my free newsletter, and there's some other stuff in here. Okay, there's so much stuff in here. Wins, brotherhood, community, you name it. It's super dope. So if you want to be part of this, you want to be part of this journey, do yourself a favor. Click the link below. Go join that, and let's fucking make a movement. Let's make it so that we can go buy whatever car we want within the next 5 years. Because evidently doing it by ourselves is going to be very difficult. So there you go. That is my raw, honest, authentic, true plan on how I'm planning to buy myself a McLaren 765 in the next 5 years. And I hope that you can join me to ride along with me. Peace.